Namaskar, Jai Siya Ram, Radhe Radhe. Welcome to this English edition of Bharat Vichar channel. And the name of the show is Global Insights with SUMIT. I take this opportunity to thank you for your kind attention, and I take the name of Lord Sri Ganesha to do the Sri Ganesha of this show. What is the secret Trump-Putin meeting? What are they doing? What is happening? What is shaping up? What are the new geopolitical paradigms that are shaping up? And who is gaining? Who is losing? What changed? What made Trump and Putin talk? There are a lot of things which are happening, and there are a lot of global shifts which are happening. And by the grace of God, a lot of things are going to change. The power equations in the world are changing. And I've been always talking to these are the best of the buddies, and they have a lot of things in common, and they have hardly anything in uncommon. So, what is this new secret meeting which has taken place, and what has Trump spoken? What has Putin told? Why is Europe unhappy? And why Iran is rattled? So let's try to record that. So on the onset, friends, I would request you to kindly like this video. Subscribe to all our channels. We have all different programs coming in. You know, there's also Bharat Vichar, bharatvichar.net, coming well and doing good. And if you want, you can support Bharat Vichar. Let's do the Sri Ganesha. Look, the paradigms of the world politics changed when Putin tried to intervene in Iran, in Middle East. Arachi went there. He was very happy, and he said, "Muzakharat achhe hue." That is, the discussions went very well. But at the onset, I have been telling you that Trump is going to do something because Trump cannot have Putin intervening in the Middle East. So what has happened? Now there has been a conference, there has been a call which Trump and Putin did for 1.5 hours, 1-to-1. 1.5 hours of call, and obviously a lot of things were discussed, which won't be laid out in the media. But what we know for sure, a lot of things were discussed, deliberated. Let me break this news. There's a possibility that Putin might announce on his national day, that is 8th or 9th of May, whichever, that he may announce a unilateral ceasefire with Ukraine. He may announce a unilateral ceasefire with Ukraine because though militarily Putin has won, militarily Ukraine is losing, but Ukraine has been trying to hit Putin where it hurts the most. That is the oil pipelines, which keeps the Putin's money flowing in. And what does Putin need right now? With his money being frozen by Europeans, with a lot of turmoil in the world, he needs this oil money come in. He needs the oil dollars to keep on flowing. And what is Ukraine trying to hit? Ukraine is exactly trying to hit him where it hurts him the most is the oil dollars. Now that attack in that place called Prem, it is Prem. It is a place where the pipelines got hit, and it has been 18 or 20 hours till the blazes are there. Putin realized that drones are something which you cannot protect. A very vast country like Russia, drones can hit you anywhere, pretty much everywhere, much everywhere. You can be protecting yourselves from missiles and aircraft and all, but what about those small drones? A lot of them can be even assembled locally and used. That is point number one. So Ukrainians have increased the attacks and they're hitting the pipelines. Putin wants to make money. Putin wants to intervene in the Iran so that he can have a leverage against the Ukraine. But Trump spoke to Putin, and what did Trump tell him? Putin said that, Mr. Trump, you should not be attacking Iran again. If you do that, there are going to be a lot of consequences which I see. He's not threatening him, but he's telling him there are going to be a lot of consequences which I see. And what is Trump telling him? He say, you know what, Vladimir, my friend, why don't we have a peace deal with Ukraine? Why don't we stop the Ukrainian war? I think that is what will help more than, about what are the consequences of Iran. In a way, Trump tells him, buddy, don't bother about Iran. We are handling it. We are in the control. And what you should be worried about is how to stop, Ukraine from destroying you. You should be worried how to sell more oil. And you should be forgetting about Iran. Then Vladimir Putin comes and says, Mr. Trump, do you think we can help you with the enrichment? That is, I can, mediate between you and Iran about that enrichment thing. Trump again replies, well, my friend, focus on getting the war to an end. That has been a long war and a lot of people are dying. We want that war to come to an end. And well, this is what had happened. Now, after 1.5 hours of talk, I think they will be going back and forth. Things will be spoken. They would have agreed. They would have not agreed. Some things would have agreed. But the moot point is that Putin is not going to intervene in the Iran as it was perceived 48 hours back. Putin is not going to intervene in the enrichment as Iran wanted him to do. And Trump is saying that there won't be a deal without the nuclear peace. And Trump says the blockade continues. Blockade is bleeding Iran like hell, and the blockade will continue. I'm not going to lift the block. I'm not bothered about ceasefire or no ceasefire, but guys, I'm not lifting the blockade. In the meanwhile, why Putin is suddenly changing? What has happened? Three things. First thing is, I've been telling you that UAE's exit from OPEC is a good thing for India, is a good thing for the world economy, is a good thing for the world trade. Now, we have seen oil already touching $108 per barrel, which is quite high. And, it was supposed to go to 140, 150, maybe higher than that. So, in that scenario, the people who are pumping less oil will get more and more money, will get more and more benefited for that. But the consumers in the world, the economies in the world are suffering. UK is already shaking. Germans are already crying, if I may say so. And on the top of that, you have people who are really, they're in grief, like Tayyip Erdogan and Fidan Haqqa. They don't know what to do. Pakistan is shaking because they know the oil game is changing. Why I'm bringing this to you? It's very important to understand. Look, a couple of decades back, Saudis for some reason exited OPEC. When Saudis have exited OPEC, I think the prevailing oil price was $30 per barrel or more. It came to $10. The oil prices really started falling. The oil prices really started falling. Who was the worst hit? Take a guess. The worst hit was Russia. Russian oil industry got devastated at that point of time, and Putin knows the history. And what is Putin's main source? Oil. So Trump has pulled off sanctions from the Russian oil. Anybody can buy the Russian oil. Now, if you mess too much with Trump, what he's going to ask UAE, push more oil into the market. What does Trump want? Trump wants the oil prices to be somewhere around $55 a barrel, 55, 58, so that he doesn't want it to go less than 55, then the shale oil will be unviable. Somewhere around 55, 58. Why? Because at that point, the manufacturing in America will be viable. For the manufacturing in America to be viable, I want the prices to be at a reasonable level. And I don't want them 110, 140. I have midterms, I have problems, and a lot already Democrats and Obama jumping off my back. And I have a FBI director who was trying to kill me. I mean, if the guy is, but though Trump said he's a dirty cop, and if he's kind of indicted, he is looking to 20 years in prison minimum. And this is the former director of FBI under Democrats. That is how ugly the world out there is. We have seen already JD1 shaking. There's a lot of money. Look, oil is a big business. There's billions, there's $1 trillion on the table. Things will go here and there. People will shake. They will start talking strange. So if UAE, now coming back to the discussion, if you don't want UAE to flood the market with the oil and kill the Russian oil and take away the Russia's biggest two customers, who are the two biggest customers of Russia? The two biggest customers of Russia are India and China. India is very strategic to Russia because, we import a lot of crude from Russia, around 40-45% of the crude from Russia. Though China is bigger than us, but China's dependence on Russian crude is only around 20-25%. But with Venezuela shutting, with Iran shutting, Chinese will be buying more of Russian crude. Now, what is the option? Venezuela was illegal crude of under Nicolas Maduro is gone. Iran's illegal crude business is gone. So where will the crude move? The crude will either move to America, it will move to Russia, or it will move to UAE. UAE is the person who can really start pumping a lot of crude. And if UAE starts pumping a lot of crude, the person who will be badly affected is Vladimir Putin. So I have told you that Trump played a game. I think I was very clear on that. Trump played a game, and you will see in next 48 hours things change. And what my prediction was to you yesterday, in 48 hours, you have seen Putin climbing down. What did Putin say yesterday? Oh, I'm going to see what happens, what is good for the Iran, what is good for the economy, what is good for the world. I'm going to do that. Suddenly, Putin has changing his mind. Why is Putin changing his mind? Because he understands what the implication or ramifications of being. UAE doesn't have option. They're doing pretty bad. They need a US bailout. They will exactly do what Trump wants to do. And there's a problem UAE has with Saudis. So UAE sees this as an opportunity to exceed Saudis, to kill the Saudi dominance. And MPS is stuck between Wahhabs and Sauds. That's a traditional politics of there. So MPS doesn't have a lot of options. So what does he do? He wants to hold on to his throne anyhow. MBZ wants to take the lead. MBZ had been also been to China. So maybe there's an offer. Look, China, if you want to buy more of crude, I'm here to give it to you. and I'm here to sell. So China needs crude to run their factories to keep the machineries running, and China is suddenly becoming friendly to India, which is not too much of a bad thing. If China becomes friendly to India, so who is going to be the loser? The loser is going to be Pakistan. The loser is going to be all these Islamists and jihadis who get funded by Chinese money. I'm not saying that China will change or China has really changed, but this change in the tactical strategy of China helps India for at a tactical level, not at a strategic level for sure. Meanwhile, Agrachi is hit because Trump has told him who is calling the shots. And Trump said it was a wonderful piece by Trump where he said, "Let them come and let them come. Let when they start come and crying, Papa, I'll be there to kind of settle it out." So interesting turn of events, right? And what I'm tracking right now is, uh, by the way, Israelis have started intercepting those flotillas which are heading to Gaza. The great Greta Thunberg and her good buddies and her boyfriend, which are in the flotilla, they've been starting intercepting them. I always wonder why don't these flotillas go to Iran? Iran is a much needed place than Gaza, but anyway, that's the politics of it. So India is a gainer because the prices will overall stabilize. The prices going lower is an advantage for India. America is a gainer. The world economy is a gainer. Uh, Even Europe gains something out of it. Though Chancellor Merck has started backtracking on what his opinion about America and Trump is, but Macron is still riding the high horse. And a lot of people having this laugh. Hey, guys, what about Macron's and Stammer's discussion about opening the Strait of Hormuz? Well, what are they doing to open the Strait of Hormuz? But anyway, that's a different issue, right? They are all a confused lot. That's what I can say. They have lost their priorities. That's what I can say. And Europe is really in trouble. But bringing the prices down helps America, helps Russia, helps the world economy, helps Europe even. India is going to be a great beneficiary out of it because Indian economy cannot afford such a high oil price. Coming back gives a great relief to us. Iran is going to be hit because what they were trying to hedge bets on Vladimir Putin, that is not going to work. Pakistan is going to hit because Pakistan has not been able to come up with an alternate proposal. Neither Pakistan is seen as a mediator. And China has air-crewed Pakistan because they went there. And China has again air-crewed Iran because you didn't let my 70 ships pass by. And Iranis, with every passing day, are increasing their rhetoric. And very soon, Iran's oil wells will be almost shutting down. The Iran's economy will be in doldrums. And the Operation Epic Fury, forget that. The Operation Economic Fury is hitting them more than the Operation Epic Fury. So interesting to see. Trump is not going to open the blockade. He said it will be there as long as it is needed. And what does the Iran say? I'm going for the final war. Iran is warning of a dangerous war. Dangerous war again flares up the things. Again, the oil prices might go up a bit, but they will again start coming down because UAE is now the game changer. The more oil UAE starts pushing in the market, the more the prices of the oil will start getting regulated. Saudis have lost the game. Saudis are no longer in the control. I've been always telling Mr. Mohammed bin Salman, you better get your house or your act together. Because if you don't get it together, there's a lot of trouble you're going to get in, buddy. And he doesn't understand that. And all these Islamist forces, whoever they are, if you try to be their buddies and their friends, well, what I can assure you, there's nothing great you're going to get out of it. Trump is ahead of the game. Putin is working with Trump because he wants to settle his issues. He doesn't want to fight with the Americans. Americans don't want to fight with Russians. That day is never going to come. Zelensky is sidelined. Zelensky is irking. Zelensky is saying, oh, Russians might attack Zaporozhye. They might be attacking our nuclear installations. Though Russia is losing, but, we want the war to stop because it's like typically Zelensky and Iran at the same level. Militarily defeated, but still fighting. But the difference between Zelensky and Iran is that Iran is a suicidal regime. They will want to go into a suicide and have a couple of million people killed. Zelensky is not that crazy. He will still fight. He will make money out of the war. He has made a lot of money out of the war, by the way. And war for Zelensky is a good money, but he would not want his people to be killed. That's the difference between the two. So I've told you who are the gainers. So the Pakistan, Zelensky, and Iran, they're the losers. America, Europe, India, they're the gainers. China can be a gainer or loser, depends upon how they want to position themselves. And if it is not about the face of the crazy man, Xi Jinping, they can really make some good deals out of it. Let's see how China behaves. Iran is not going to change. Israel is a happy buddy. They are, doing great. Trump is calling the shots, and Trump said Iran will be soon crying Papa. Let's say, does Iran cry Papa? Do things change? Do things escalate? Whatever happens, happens for the good. But I'm very happy that the UAE moving out has started a new thing, a new chapter. And by UAE moving out of the OPEC, though Russians have said we still want to be in OPEC plus, but OPEC plus is not a body. OPEC is the main body, which is the cartel is the OPEC, not OPEC plus. Anyway, Russians don't listen to OPEC plus, by the way. So UAE moving out breaks the cartel. UAE moving out helps them to neutralize Iran. UAE moving out helps them to bring the oil prices down. And that is what Trump wants. And that is what we pretty much want. So losers will be losers, gainers will be gainers. And if the oil prices stabilize, your gold prices, your stock markets, pretty much everything around the world is going to stabilize. So that is what I had to talk to you about in the Global Insight. So what we are trying to do is to kind of get to you the fresh developing stories out of the open. When you see in your mind, whenever you see this program in the morning, it should be fresh, good, and great. What I would request, friends, is to kindly like the video, kindly subscribe to all our channels, know the ethos of Bharat Vichar. Go to bharatvichar.net. We are making the portal better. If you want, you can support our mission as well. And a small reminder to you, though you know about Sumit Peer Collections and Sumit Peer Advisory, Sumit Peer Collections is live business, personal, professional. Can reach to me through sumitpeer.com. Sumit Peer Advisories are the mantric range of products which can change the disha and dasha of your life. Let me remind you through a small video, 5 seconds. On that note, friends, I take your leave and I hope you would have liked watching Global Insights with Sumit Peer. Trying to make the program better, more insightful, need your cooperation, need your feedback, and do like, share, and subscribe. On that note, I take your leave. भारत माता की जय वंदे माता मातरम ओम नमः पार्वती पतया हर 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 महादेव